Well, hello, everybody,
Hello, everybody. Hello.
and welcome to another exciting episode of the only podcast on the net dedicated 100% to the greatest game of the world, Advanced Squad Leader. My name is Dave.
And I'm Jeff, and this is the Two Half Squads. It's a great podcast. It's great to be back. Good to see you, Dave. You're
Good to
looking
see
well.
you.
You're looking fit.
No, but yeah.
Okay, I'm just saying it. I don't mean it. Like a lot of stuff that goes on
Well,
these days
so,
between everybody.
so I can start with playing tennis Friday, four of us, doubles, running around. And Carl, this guy who hasn't been with us always, but he's back. He can still run.
Well, was he like 18 or something?
And
What
no,
what do you mean
no.
run?
Yeah, his kids are my kids' age, but he's probably younger than me. He's probably 50s, late 50s, 55. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I could run when I was 55.
Yeah, because he took the buyout from the government and then he Texas said, I got a lot of time. You want to play tennis? And I said, only on the weekends when we do our group thing.
And only if you don't run.
Well, he was on my team.
Oh,
So I could move to the net and then they could try and get him left to right and he could keep up pretty well. But he got his job back because he would became suddenly from being take a buyout and get out of here, he became essential.
so did he have to give back the money from
I
the buyout?
don't know how that works, but here is
I know
another.
how it works.
This is like my second or third friend with a government job who's like, we don't know what's going on in our
Yeah,
future.
nobody knows.
But yeah, so he did the buyout and then he had a plan to get up to retirement age with something, and then yeah. Oh, you know what? Guess what? You have to come back.
Wow, you have to? Like, we really want you
They
back?
said you're essential.
Yeah, I had the
Oh,
same
I don't
thing.
know. I don't know.
I've never told you that I work for a secret government agency,
No, you haven't,
but
because then you'd have to kill me.
it's so secret they can't deposit money in my account.
Oh, that's a
Yeah,
bummer. Do you have a secret offshore account?
no, it's really secret. That's which is kind of problematic. So you played tennis. That's great.
We did. I managed to run quite a bit. And then I got home. I got home and I was walking down the stairs and back, and stepping down the stair pulled something quite horrendous in my ankle.
Oh
Well,
no.
you didn't notice, but I was coming down the stairs one foot,
Yeah.
lowering a foot and then double stepping. So I can walk around fine. I ice it at night. So I'm going to try to do my own therapy, massage it, ice it at night.
Can you force it to? Robin has a thing where she's fine, but she can't come downstairs because it hurts. It's
That
only coming downstairs. The body's an amazing thing. So
that's or if I bend the too far this way,
yeah,
forward,
yeah,
on the
yeah.
foot, then it goes. So anyway, getting old. Everyone's got stories,
Oh yeah.
and
I don't have time to get old, Dave. I'm too busy.
you are too busy.
I am too
And what
busy.
have you been doing?
Well, just the the usual stuff. Nobody really wants to hear about my work for some reason. I find it fascinating, but
It's work.
it's funny when I just I build up a lot of tension during the day. Somebody will write me and they'll say, "Is this spam?" Question mark, 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 question mark.
Okay. Sometimes I do three, or no, I like to do a question mark, exclamation mark, question mark.
It's not necessary.
It's not.
And to the recipient, it's annoying.
It's true.
And I want to write back to them and I can't do it. And I want to write back and say, obviously, exclamation mark, exclamation mark, exclamation mark. And I can't do it. And I don't
No,
know.
no, no. You don't want to.
I'm all,
Jeff. You have to. When I learned to be a teacher, I learned that I had to remain the adult.
yeah,
So you have to remain the adult.
yeah.
Mhm.
Wasn't it Thomas Aquinas who said you can't go beat up your neighbor just because they're annoying? I think it was something like
I
that.
don't think so.
Something like he wrote a lot of stuff. Something like that. So,
You well, so I thought I'd show off my
oh yeah.
swamps. I finally made some swamp terrain. Why is that
I love
funny?
a man who shows off his swamps.
Drain the swamp. Watch, here it goes. You gotta
Yeah.
drain it. Ready?
Yeah, drain the swamp. Yeah, there it goes.
It's gone.
For those of
Pure.
you who are not on the video, Dave is draining the swamp.
Oh, there it's nice and clear.
There it goes.
But
Setting in the with the west.
so yeah, much like the famous cornfields that I built, the kids gave me the cattails and the lily pads for Christmas and Father's Day for like 2 or 3 years running. And I got enough of this stuff that I made.
I know what your gravesite's going to look like. There's going to be corn. There's going to be like swamp plants.
So I got 10 of these things, different sizes.
For
Isn't that
what?
cool?
For what? Is that for ASL?
For D&D.
Oh,
Yeah, it can be ASL.
oh, okay, good.
This can be the
Because this is the podcast about ASL.
This is for the Pripyat marshes
Yeah.
in Russia. Yes. And then I tried I did some ice for Frostgrave, go out into nature. It's the Wildwoods book. And so we can leave the city. Aren't you sick of all those city terrain? It's time to go
Oh, yeah.
outdoors.
Yeah.
And so I made this one and I posted on Reddit, and the guy said, "Oh, I see. I thought it was just a melted or goo." It's quite insulting, actually, but I'm like, well,
it looks a lot. It's a lot more wonderful in real life.
it
loses a lot.
True.
The camera takes away a lot.
That's true. But it has icebergs in it, or little ice chunks.
Gives me a little chill just
Isn't
looking
it?
at it.
Whew. So
room.
he suggested, well, maybe add some terrain around the sides. And then another guy.
So you caved to his suggestion?
Actually, I had the leftovers from the swamp, so I thought, oh, you know what, I'm going to stick them on the edges. And then he mentioned like logs and things, and I painted fish. Look, I painted
those are fish. Oh yeah, those are fish in there.
See,
are they frozen in there, or are they moving?
They're frozen.
They're frozen in there. It's very hard on the fish.
So pretty cool though.
Yeah.
So there we go.
And we could use those in squad later.
You could winter scenario.
Yeah.
Water obstacle.
Yeah.
You got to go around it.
Even if you're playing on the boards, just keep these handy. And Dave's will sell you these. Just keep these on the side, and it gives you the effect.
It would remind you of what you're facing.
Yeah.
But
it's not a bad idea.
Yeah, miniature in 3D ASL.
Yeah. Great. So you've been playing some ASL, some actual ASL on actual boards.
I have. I'd like to do what you've been playing lately after this interview or the packet. Should we do what's in the
Das
box?
Boxenstein. Das ist in der Boxenstein.
You should hear it in the headphones. It's really good.
Yeah, I bet.
That was really
I'm
good.
missing out. I'll have to wait till the show publishes.
You wish we were back at your house now.
Yeah, I do.
Well, Jeff, what is in the box?
What is in the box, Dave?
You tell me.
Well, hand it to me and I'll tell you exactly, because I memorized this. It's the ASL March Madness 2025 scenario pack.
That's correct.
Finally.
Absolutely, finally.
6 tournament-sized scenarios. And the scenario pack is titled Snake Eyes.
Snake Eyes.
Yeah.
And last show, we had a song called Really Hot Snake Eyes by Rob Banozik. Thank you again, Rob. That originally ran on 205, and we ran it again for your pleasure last show. This show, we don't have a song. Next show, maybe.
This is an independently published product for aftermarket use.
Remember, you're showing us the back of the bag.
Oh, sorry. I'm reading the front. This is nice. So did you get this while you were there?
Yes.
Yeah, great.
And we'll have one for a contest in a little bit.
Okay. Yeah.
But first, do you want to cover the first?
Yeah, we took a quick look at these scenarios, and I got to tell you, I read this. You're not getting old, but I am.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I read the background of the scenario, and I get a little choked up.
Yeah, it makes you cry.
It does a little bit, because you think, man, this is real stuff. This is, and I always think whenever I read this, I think of the quote. I don't know who made it. Those who do not read history are destined to repeat it.
Those who don't remember
And I always think, but all these guys have read history and they repeat it anyway. What is wrong with people?
Yeah.
But this just kind of got me because there's these the Polish major, Henry Dobranski, and elements of the 110th Reserve Cavalry Regiment refused to surrender in September 1939. With 50 volunteers from the regiment, the major continued to fight the Germans in the Kalche region and areas around the Holy Cross Mountains. Calling themselves a detached unit from the Polish army, the major had troops continue to wear their army uniforms and ranks. Through the winter of 39 through 40, they waited for that's the winter of 39-40. They waited for the promised French and British offensive against the Germans, which didn't happen.
Mm-hmm.
Other soldiers joined the unit, and by March 1940, they numbered over 100. 100, Dave. That's nothing. German security forces under the SS gathered about 5,000 troops in the Kalchi area to hunt down these Polish holdouts. I mean, when you read this stuff, it's kind of gut wrenching.
Well, yeah, yeah.
But it's a fascinating scenario. Use boards U and O.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to have those. And the Polish sets up first, obviously, and they don't get a lot of stuff because they're defending. They get a foxhole. They get one squad of horse. Of course.
Otherwise known as cavalry,
Cavalry,
or
yes.
known as Mr. Red.
Yes, well, it says 1S horse. Doesn't say cavalry, it says horse on the counter.
Okay.
And then the Germans get some. Now the Germans, interesting, they are SS. The German MMC are late war SS units. Same.
Late war.
Yeah, they're same as late war SS units.
Oh, but what year? What year is this? 39. You said, yeah.
This is 39.
Okay, of course.
But I guess that gives
yes,
more representative of the balance.
Yeah.
And they don't get a lot. They get 6 squads or 8 squads and some half squads and stuff like that. But they get this. There's something here, Dave, I actually don't recognize, and I forgive my ignorance, which is I have that tattooed on my forehead. If I take my hat off, you can see that. Forgive my ignorance. Opal Blitz.
Oh, that's a truck.
Oh, it is. Okay.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Yeah, because on these sheets they don't show the counter. They
just show
the
the Opal Blitz. I guess I'm not familiar with that one for some reason. So anyway, it looks like a great scenario.
Yes, well, I have taken a look at 100, which is the
March Madness 100. Wow, the centennial.
Oh yeah,
scenario.
Boy, it's a lot of scenarios out there.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
And this one's called A Limited Offensive, and it is designed by Dan Best. It is now July 1942, Russia, and it has the Vic to win. The Germans can gather up 14 CVP on the Russians and have exited about 30, 21 of which exit points must be AFVs off the north edge. Or if they exit 43 EVP off the north edge, any other results a Russian win. Prisoners do count in this one, and it's 2 half boards from 42 and 75. It is 4.5 turns. And special rules, Jeff, you'll love them. It's moderate, no wind. Russian 628s is an assault engineer. And despite the date, the Germans can use riders. Nice and simple.
I like simple.
Special rules.
I'm a fan of simple.
So this would be a quick play. Germans coming in with those 6 vehicles and the 6 squads. And then the Soviets got 7 squads, commissar, crew, LMG, ATR, DC, and 182 mortar. And that's it to hold them off.
So next I have scenario MM99. And I'll have to say that previous scenario I talked about was also from Dan Best, scenario designer. This one is by our friend Scott Mullins. And it's MM99 Harkashi Assault. My Polish is not that good. And I'm not even sure it's Polish because it happens in Russia. So this one is good. It's the Hungarians against the Russians. So kind of interesting. July 13th of 1941. I like the victory conditions. Again, nice and simple. The Hungarians win at game end if there are no good order Russians on level 2 hexes.
Level 2. Oh, I got the board up. Can you see it on
I
the
do.
screen?
Yeah.
So that hill, and then there's 4 hexes of hilltop. What board
Yeah.
is that?
That is board 66.
66. How many
Yeah.
turns?
Just six, 5.5.
Yep, those are all those good short scenario
Yeah.
style scenarios.
Yeah. So it's just the Russian is defending on the hills, and the Hungarians come on with their motorized battalion. Russians have a couple of foxholes and an AT gun, and the Hungarians come on with 5. Again, these are, since I can't see what they are, they're mobile units, obviously. They come on with 538M Toldi. Can't remember what those
I
are.
can't either. The Hungarian vehicle,
Yeah,
it could be a truck, could be a tank.
yeah.
Yeah.
So the Hungarians taking advantage of their Russian neighbors. Looks like fun. EC is moderate, stream is shallow, the board edge hedge does not exist. Very simple scenario, easy to play. This looks like a good one.
Got your screen share, 38M Toldi.
Oh, yes. Oh, very good.
There
Oh,
you
yeah.
go.
Very nice armored fighting vehicle there.
Armored fighting vehicles. We got to do more of those.
A light tank from the Kingdom of Hungary.
And I have 101 Making Crossfire, which is going to bring out the Japanese units, and it's Butaratari Island and Macon Atoll. And it's 5.5 turns, half aboard 37. The Japanese have 7 squads. They're going to set up between rows S and AA, some fortifications, pillbox 1, and some trenches, and an unknown support weapon, either an ATR or a mortar, light mortar. And then that one can be set up hip. They got some other hip down here mentioned in the special rules. And the Americans have these 7 squads and 3 light tanks, M3A1s, which the armaments may not fire at any target that lies in a covered arc from the tank. That also includes any eastern board edge within the line of sight of that tank. I didn't read the background, but I'm sure there's a reason for that. And the victory conditions, Americans win a game in by accumulating 30 VP, and they get those for inflicting damage, for exit points, for taking entrenchments, and for destroying the pillbox. 5 points for that. And then the Japanese casualties are deducted. The American casualties are deducted from the victory points on a like 4-to-1 basis. So that is Making Crossfire. You have another one, Jeff?
I have one more, MM102. This one is designed by Nathan Wegner. It's called Villa de Verges. Wow.
Sounds Frenchy.
I think it's actually Italian. So it's Via Via der Verges. Via der Verges. San Lorenzo in Correggiano near Rimini, Italy. Wow. And these are the Canadian troops against the Germans.
What? They fought in World War II?
They did, yes. The 1st Canadian Corps continued its struggle to push through the Gothic line along the eastern side of the Italian peninsula.
Goths. It's hard to fight the Goths, you know. They wear dark clothes and they have dark makeup, and
yeah,
they listen to that weird music, and they paint their fingernails.
The fingernails dark. The dark fingernails really freak me out.
The Goths, they're tough.
But they are Goths are NA in this scenario.
Oh, good.
So the Commonwealth wins by just having amassed more victory points than the German VP. So, and there's quite a list of things that you have to do that. But the Germans set up first. They set up on the board. They've got a couple of pillboxes. They've got a Panzer. Let's see, I think that's a Tiger that comes on turn 1.
Wow.
Yeah, not an actual Tiger, but a Tiger tank.
Oh.
And the Canadians, it says the Commonwealth, but I'm just going to say what like it is. It's the Canadians. Long live the Canadians.
Yeah.
They've got 3 Churchills So, and this uses an interesting combination of boards, board V, board 11A, and board 5A. So if you don't have those,
Mm.
get them. I was going to say you're out of luck, but no, get them. So it looks like a fun. This is a 6.5 turn scenario.
And I have 102, Via de Viges. No, you did that one. I
Yes.
have Return to Noville, and that's Noville, Belgium, 1945.
Noville.
Noville.
Yeah.
That's French. No, that's Italian. Noville. The
Noville.
Americans win if no good order German MMCs are in any buildings or rubble, like 3 hexes from board 70 G5. It's 2 long boards, 17Z. You don't see that a lot.
No.
And there's a lot of vehicles for both sides. Well, not a lot. 2 tanks for the Germans, 2 SBW, and then Americans got 4 M4A3s. Looks like a pretty evenly matched force.
What are the 2 boards again?
17Z.
Yeah,
Z.
17Z.
It's like a modified 17.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the other one?
7D.
Oh, and 70.
70.
Okay.
A normal
70.
A normal board.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
So this one they give you 6.5 turns to accomplish that. And 12 American squads, 9 German squads, and they're not conscripts here this late in the war. American opening M2 mortars.
Yeah, and I'm sorry, what year is it?
1945. January.
Okay. Oh yeah.
Still
okay.
January.
Yeah.
But and then they get the elite white phosphorus ammo depletion in the first turn to help make sure they get some smoke going.
Yeah.
Yep, that's a special rule there.
Nice.
Mm-hmm. And there's a steeple too.
A steeple. We always like the steeple.
And that is
because you open the door.
And there's all the people. And that is the 2025 scenario pack. And Jeff, do we have one to give away?
I think we do.
We do. We have another copy to give away, unopened. Oh, here's a new thing.
Yeah.
How about the first person listening now to call us on the phone? The first person to call in will get the pack. Please call now. 662-622-2226. Ready? Oh, we have someone calling. Okay, I'll answer this here. Hello, who is it? Hello? Oh, Richard Logan. Richard Logan, you are the winner. Richard, congratulations. We'll get this right out to you, Richard. All right.
Amazing. Boy, that Johnny, talk about Johnny on the spot.
He was ready.
He was ready phone. There. He probably sits there all night long waiting for us to record and then just like.
Yeah, remember doing that when you listened to the radio?
Oh, yeah.
Tickets?
Yeah.
I never did that. Did you ever do that?
I never did it, but the kids did it all the time for the Backstreet Boys. I mean, they would just be dialing.
Oh, your girls.
Even when there wasn't a contest, they'd just be dialing constantly, just in case.
Your girls, the kids. Yeah, I was thinking of my brother. He would get the tickets all the time, but I don't know if he ever tried calling in to get something. I'm sure he did. Listen to XRT. Ding, ding, ding. Speaking of XRT, our sponsor today is XRT Radio Chicago.
Yeah.
And who's our other sponsor?
Bounding Fire Productions.
That's right. Bounding Fire Productions.
We say that with love in our hearts. Thank you, Bounding Fire, for being such good supporters of the podcast and for creating amazing products.
Absolutely amazing products like
when it's time to get your husband a gift and it's right down to the wire. Don't give yourself short shift. Just go to Bounding Fire.
Yeah. All right. So go to Bounding Fire today. And now I think interview with Tom to Computer. All right. Hello, everybody. This is one of the biggest honors of Jeff's not here, but my little man on the street reporting. With me today here in March Madness is Tom Meier. Tom, what an honor to have you with us. Do you want to start in telling us about yourself, your gaming background?
Thanks for having me.
Oh, you're welcome.
Long time listener, first time on the show. Classic war game start 1975, War at Sea, December. Saw it on a shelf. I was Christmas shopping. Avalon Hill, bought the game, played with my brother. Next thing I know, I got my buddies playing Avalon Hill, SPI, GDW, up through all the way through high school, a little bit of college, and then I went off in the Army and kind of quit playing games for a while and wasn't with a bunch of people. I was overseas, wasn't with a bunch of people who played, and kind of thought the hobby was kind of died down. And I got stationed in Korea, and I was working for a Marine major named Eric Walters. This is important because it turns out Eric Walters was involved in the original design and play test of ASL.
Okay. No,
when
did
he
not
was
know
a
that.
young Marine officer. He doesn't have a bunch of credits either, but it's just something he did. And I had never played ASL. I'd played squad leader, and when the $45 massive ASL rulebook came out, I said no, thank you.
I remember.
I just wasn't for me. But he kept after me, and we played war games most every Saturday because, like I said, we're on company tours in Korea, not a lot to do.
Yeah. Okay.
And he kept working on me, and finally he's like, well, we'll just start simple infantry games. And so we started a little ASL and Comp Group Piper, and this is 97, 98. And 97, 98 is important because that's the time Avalon Hill was going under.
Oh, right.
98,
yes,
97, 98, 99. That was all coming up. And MMP had just taken over, and I was transferred from Korea to Washington, D.C.
Okay.
And my friend Eric gave me an introduction, and MMP was looking for play testers because they had just started. And next thing I know, I'm sitting Wednesday nights in Brian Yaus's basement,
right,
play testing ASL. And
Okay.
that's how I learned to play ASL, Blood Reef Tarawa and A Bridge Too Far. Credits on there as a play tester. And that's how I learned to play ASL.
And that's quite a way to learn.
Yeah, sitting Wednesday nights playing Perry Cock and Brian Yaus and
Yeah.
Ken Dunn and those guys. Yeah, that's what you're going to learn.
And so that's probably where I first saw your name in the list of just play testers.
Yeah, that maybe.
On a lot
Yeah.
of early stuff, I think. Yeah, that's it's fun hearing you tell that those are the highlights of the whole ASL experience. Is it Doom Battalions or something? Was that last one?
The last one. So funny story, Doom Battalion. So I'm decided, okay, I'll try ASL. Eric, fine. You beat me down. I mean, I'm playing lots of other games. He and I were playing all kinds of stuff, a lot of gamers and stuff, whatever. And and I came home and I went to a game store somewhere in the DC area. I don't remember, maybe the Complete Strategist, one of the stores. And there was a copy of Doom Battalions, the original, purple box, purple, and We the People, the Avalon Hill revolutionary game.
People.
And so I bought those, and then they went under.
Yeah.
And I ended up with these, last games basically that they published in my collection.
Yeah. And so I went to that game store and asked, Charlie, I'm a fanatic on this game. Can't believe it's gone under. And I didn't get it. He's like, well, okay, all right. You are a fanatic on it. And there he pulled it out. And I went, oh man, thank you. Because it seemed like the end. Yeah, I mean the last squad leader product ever made. But yeah, that was so cool. So then you're in that area and you're gaming with those guys. And are you still there?
No.
Today?
No, I live in Leavenworth, Kansas. My last duty station with the Army was Fort Leavenworth.
Okay.
And that's how I became pals with Paul Works years back when I got stationed at Fort Leavenworth. And I've come and gone, but he and I hooked up early then. So, yeah, well, when I was in DC, though, shifted to ASL history, I got attached to the DC conscripts version 1, which was me, John Slotwinski, who I still play with. We played Vassal, Chris Bear, and Doug Bush, and we were running the DC conscripts. We had, we'd have 30 players show up and we moved around the area. And, of course, then I left and some other people took it over. And the close the loop on that is you guys talked to the DC conscripts.
Yeah, we did.
And I was all excited because, see, then I went to their website and so we published a newsletter and somehow they got copies of the newsletter and posted it. I guess they scanned them in and posted our little old archive newsletter copies. I mean, these newsletters were, yeah. But they, had lots of interesting, guys would publish stuff and we publish it and just give it away. And, so, yeah. So I played there. So we played at regular ASL for a number of years. And then 9/11 came along and the Army said, no, we're transferring you out. So then got busy.
And then you were overseas and stuff?
I was, I went to Fort Riley and I spent a lot of time training National Guard units. And then I was in Iraq. And then I came back from Iraq. And so there was a period there where I wasn't playing any games. And then I came back from Iraq and got stationed at Fort Leavenworth. My wife at the time was from there. So we came back there. And then I hooked up with, like I said, I found Paul Works.
Yeah.
And so then that began, another chapter.
Right.
That begins the March Madness Kansas City chapter version.
So you've, really been with 3 different big groups. Yeah. And then currently you live
in Leavenworth, Kansas. Okay. So I've traveled for work off and on. So when I came here, many people may or may not remember is that there was the old Kinetic Energy.
Yep.
And that was Mike Reed and Paul Works helped him on that. And they used to publish, they were the first ones to kind of publish die cut counters. So their packs, they would have, if you came to March Madness back then. Yeah. I mean, those things, a couple $100 on eBay now. Because if you came to their tournament back then, you got die cut counters and nobody was doing that. Nobody, And so, and then I think Mike Reed moved away for a little bit and the group kind of split up for a while. And there was still kind of a tournament, but it wasn't, really going on. So I came and met Paul and some of the other guys, and they were like, "Hey, let's," because I had come once or twice to the tournament when I happened to be in the area TDY, and I was like, "Let's bring it back." And the way we brought it back was at the time Paul was very involved in the Korea Forgotten War development, and I kind of came in on that, and they were kind of stagnated a little bit. They'd been working on it. They needed play testers. And I said, I'll tell you what, let's make March Madness theme Korea. So we did this small, what we called the poo pack, Poos on perimeter, but we called it the poo pack. And we had 6 scenarios that with the new Korean stuff. People were able to use Russian counters for North Koreans and things like that. And so that was kind of let's get everybody back. And a bunch of people showed up and it reinvigorated interest. And we got a bunch of play testers for the Forgotten War and they were able to move forward. So,
So then how much development work did you do on the Forgotten War?
Lots. I play tested a lot. So I wasn't one, the core members you've interviewed, Ken Katz. And Paul and Andy Hershey.
Oh, yes.
And then the other guy, the Air Force officer, retired, whose name is escaping. Sorry.
Sorry.
You can beat me up later.
We'll put it down here on the YouTube.
But he had contacted me when we were working on this. He was stationed in Korea at the time as an Air Force officer, and he wanted to get involved. And he got involved in big time and became one of the 4, main people. And then I was just kind of driving play testing and helping, every time Paul would make a rules change because someone thought something, that's what we did. I mean, we did a lot of, I had a basement in my house and guys could come over and we're like, yeah, we're going to play this game. Okay, we can play one of those, but then you got to play test. And and so they sent that off. And so that was really great to see that. So when that finally came out, it's been really interesting. Yeah, and there's, several so I've got some scenarios in there. My actual official MMP published scenarios.
Yeah, your name is on those.
Yeah, right. Everybody needs a scenario officially published by MMP
I'll never make it, but
There's still time.
there is still time. We got to get some Rich Spilkey ones published too. There, he's from our area.
Well, the other thing was, so with March Madness, if you want to keep talking about
Oh,
that,
yeah,
the fact that we were revigorating it, and I had just come from MMP land, I reached back out and said, "Hey, can we get prizes?" So MMP, and I reached out to some of the third-party publishers, and we got prize support, and people started coming. Some people who hadn't been for a while, and we started growing. The local club,
yeah,
and then getting people to come back to uh, the March Madness just because, hey, we've reinvigorated it. It's not kinetic energy. No, you're not going to get free counters, but you're going to get a well play tested scenario pack.
Yeah.
We've got nice prizes that we get donated. And so that's kind of so we kind of did that for a while. And I will say that and then like 4 or 5 years ago, I had to went out of state for a while for work. So I stepped back, and Dave Moreski, who you've interviewed,
yeah,
he stepped in and provided, his being able to use Hollis where he works for our club meetings. And that's just been really, because the club, then everyone always knows we're going to meet once a month. You
yeah.
go to Hollis. It's a great place to game. In the wintertime, there's a great big roaring fire. And it's just, it's great.
I actually was telling the listeners will hear this for the fourth time, but I thought I was going there today, kind of, because I remember playing on the maps that was put out in one of the packs of the Hollis area, and
Oh, yeah.
Grumble Jones made the comedy scenarios with
Yeah.
the squads and stuff. So then I was like, oh, I'm going to be going to that place. I remember the map,
Yeah.
and I'll drive in, and then I'm Googling, and I'm like, no, I'm going to this hotel. So it's a little disappointed we're not at Hollis now, but Dave explained it all to us.
Yeah.
in his interview.
And this particular hotel has been really good to come
Yeah.
to. Very user friendly. I mean, we tried different hotels in the area, and mixed success. And but this one, it's great.
Yeah, and it's been here for a while then.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't know, 4 or 5 years. I don't.
Yeah,
I'm not the expert on that because, like I said,
I grabbed an egg from the breakfast, even though I didn't have a room.
if you give me $20, I won't say anything.
Well, Dave already said they said it's okay.
Yeah, they love us here. They like us here.
Yeah, can't beat that.
Good group of people. So then I started going to the World Board Gaming Championships a few years back. I went when I and now it's Seven Springs, and they run a starter kit tournament there. They hadn't been running the full ASL for quite a while. I mean, that used to be the place for ASL with hundreds of players back when, way back. Well, Avalon Hill still ran it.
Yeah.
And then it was in DC for a while, but now it's at Seven Springs. And so I go out there with my buddies, and we play other games, but I always go in and play the starter kit tournament they run there. And we get about, 15 guys and gals, and Perry runs it. And they usually bring something new and cool to buy there. I got like a tabletop computer mat with the St. Mary Glees map for my work desk now. It's very cool. But the only place you could get it was if you went there, and they just ran a short run of them, and they sold them. And then when I was there last year was when I was talking to Kurt and Perry about a project that I'm working on. And then that's when Kurt was saying, I'm bringing ASL back. And I'm sure you've got the word on the prizes for the tournament.
No.
So Kurt is they're bringing full ASL back to WBC.
Oh, okay.
First prize for the tournament, lifelong supply of anything that Multi-Man Publishing publishes.
Wow. And they can't send us any product to review on the air. Well, I might have to go there. I might have to earn my way.
I'm trying to think of something, how to politically correct comment on what you just said, but something about somebody's Wheaties. But I don't know. What did you do to them?
I don't know.
They're great people.
Yeah. No, I think they really do like us.
They got to draw the line somewhere.
Well, yeah, you can't give free product to everyone. Although we were the only ones doing reviews in the early days.
Yeah.
But then, Perry's come on with Dunn.
Yeah,
after Miracles,
Listen
and
to
he's
him.
come on by himself. So
Yeah.
yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
And then second prize in the tournament is a lifelong supply of advanced squad leader products.
Okay.
So because I think if they had just said, I think they appropriately figured out that if they just said we're bringing full ASL back, that wouldn't have drawn people. But I think these prizes are, I mean, it's got me like, well, maybe I won't play it starter kit. I'll play in the
Yeah.
go for the big one.
You
I mean, if
can-
there's a
you can
chance to
still
win
do-
the full, I mean,
Yeah. And you're so well, I think they know we're not going to be around that much longer.
yeah. That contract's only going to last so long.
But you've got so you can switch from the starter to regular pretty well.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if my brain could do it, but yeah.
Well, when we were here and starter kit first came out, and I would say we need to run a little starter kit here. We used to early on we ran starter kit here just to recruit new players. The prize was a ASL rulebook, and that was good because
Yeah.
a lot of people were transitioning, and now you've got such a large number of starter kit players
Yeah.
that we just no, the prize now is something starter kit.
Yeah.
Related. But going back to that, I had to try and get our full ASL players to play starter kit with these new guys to get them in. I had found on the internet a big chart that said how ASL is different from starter kit.
Yeah.
And it's got like bullets for infantry. Here's what's different. No voluntary route. And then bullets for guns and yeah. And so that's kind of. And now I do it enough that every once in a while I'll still kind of
forget something.
Yeah. Yeah.
So then in development, anything you said you're working on something you just
I
want to
usually
keep
play
that
test
under-
for these guys, and we're
Okay. We'll
but
keep that under
I
wraps.
will tell you that so I think that we'll keep talking about doing a with Vassal. I think what we've decided we can do is a commentary on an ASL game 3-way, and we think that since with Vassal you can do every half turn, and just do your comments, and then be able to annotate the board, as opposed to the old way, which was somebody would have to write down where every figure was.
Right.
And now you can just take a screenshot of the board.
Yeah.
And each player privately can write their comments.
Uh-huh.
And then you play the next turn. And then at the end of the game, everyone kind of reveals these were our thoughts. Because you really haven't seen very many of those lately in the journals.
Right.
And it's not because they don't want to publish them. There's just nobody's been doing them.
It's a lot of work.
That is a lot of work. So, so I keep saying I'm going to do that. And I keep saying I'm going to write some articles about the Korea scenarios.
Yeah, it would be good too.
Just to kind of talk to people about the ideas behind them. Because some of them that we play tested quite a bit, and then MMP play tested, they're a little skewed on roar. And so we're going to talk about some of that.
Do you think that's because we're missing some aspect of the rules? Like
Yes,
the way,
that is
like
exactly.
the trumpet or the
And the light woods, the terrain. Mainly, I think some of it's the terrain was one of the first things we noticed, because when people would be talking about, oh, they just rolled right over them, and Paul Works and I would be like, well,
yeah, because I've gotten shot through those woods, forgetting that you can shoot through those woods. And if someone's not remembering they can shoot through those woods, maybe.
Yeah. So I think that was, and now that it's been around longer, and now that the LFT published the soul saving that Andy Hershey designed, or not soul saving, but the big soul
pack
that LFT did. So
help keep people playing it. And well, Dave and I played dutifully through all the scenarios in Korea. Tried all those rules. Yeah, and so they were a little like the Chinese.
Do you guys always play face to face?
Yeah, Dave and I. Yeah, and Jeff hasn't been playing as much lately. I'm not running the Passel Club, Palatine Club anymore since COVID. And then I went to my nieces wanted the D&D game, and so I'm gaming a lot. But like Tuesdays is the ASL with Dave Tennant, and then Wednesday is Star Wars role playing game off, and Thursday I got Bible study. Friday or Saturday's a big game, Frostgrave miniature games, or something else. But I would like to start Paso up again on one of those Wednesdays.
The thing I found was
guys
that-
you met. in
yeah.
tournaments.
Yeah, for me, what I like about Vassal is night scenarios. I'm like, if we're gonna play a
Oh,
night
yeah.
scenario, we're playing it on Vassal because it puts
Yeah.
you don't have to remember how far you can see. It's like
Yeah,
the illumination.
it was good. Yeah.
Is so I'm like, yeah, and it took me a while to, and that's why I'm a Mac guy. So running Vassal on a Mac, there's a couple of workarounds you got
That's
to do.
more challenging.
Yeah, a little bit more challenging. But now there's enough people running it on a Mac that if you ask a question in the forums, there's enough guys there that'll be like, oh, yeah, Tom, you need to do
Yeah.
X, Y, or Z. So, yeah.
I think I was on the Mac then. An Apple computer. What do we have? I don't know. But it's my first PC. But it's during COVID. Switched over. So, yeah. So, well, I want to thank you for your time. You got anything else you want to add before we let you go?
People need to come out to March Madness. We've
People need to come out.
reinvigorated. I mean, they got almost 30 guys and gals,
And gals.
30 guys and gals here playing.
Yeah,
So,
we got an interview with
for
one
that.
of those gals.
oh, did?
Yeah.
Awesome. So,
That's good.
she was, so her dad Greg brought her along the first time. I got pictures of her playing. Yeah, and beating some of the older guys. They were not happy. So yeah,
Well, great to
Great.
talk to you, Tom.
I appreciate
So
you having me.
We'll have to call you again in the future. We can do a remote one or at the next tournament.
Call and leave you messages on your voicemail.
Yeah, I do that.
You can play clips. All right, thanks for
All
coming
right.
down. Really appreciate you
A
finally coming
pleasure.
down. I meant to say that.
Oh,
too.
yeah,
All these
yeah.
years I've been like, you guys need to come down.
I know.
This
We
was
do.
great.
Yeah, it's true.
All right. Thanks.
All right, bye. All right, then.
What have you been playing lately? What have you been playing lately? What have you been playing? What have you been playing lately? What have you been playing? What have you been playing lately?
Jeff, Dave, what have you been playing? Jeff, Dave, what have you been playing lately?
Yeah, baby. The two half squads have moved into the year 2006. I don't know. What would that remix be? 1990s?
I
Is that
I don't
modern?
know. I don't know. We don't want to date ourselves.
Thanks, Aaron Kleinschmidt, for that new
Very well done, Aaron.
What you been playing lately remix.
Yeah.
Wow.
Splendid. And he didn't even violate copyright. It
No.
was different enough.
Mhm. Yeah, you're not going to sue him then.
I'm not going to sue him.
So, all right, Jeff. Well, what I've been playing lately is with Dave Timonin, and I wanted to record these after the games, but we just don't seem to get it done lately. Stalingrad Redux.
Redo.
Redo. It is FB 17. We are almost done. We're playing 17 here, and we'll show you 18 over there. And the last one will be 19. And 18 and 19 came out with, I do believe, annuals and journals. And so this is a Hungary February 45. And let's go to the pictures. I won't run down the troops or anything, but we are, I remember Bill Cirillo said, we're not playing all of them, are you? Right? And we were like, no, we are.
Yeah. Yes, we
He's
are.
like, you are? Yeah, we are. We're playing all of them.
Like good little boys.
Mm-hmm. You kind of figure once you're learning the tricks of the trade. So we are playing.
Stalingrad Redo.
Yes, and the Russians can enter from here on the east edge, trying to make this legible for listeners. And there we go, from this north top. And so the Germans can set up in this road hex area. This isn't going to work for the listeners at home, but forward area. So you see, I have some German defenders in here. Dave Timonen was attacking
With his Germans.
with his Russians, and
Oh, yes, I see.
the
Yeah,
green
yeah,
and
yeah.
brown are the Hungarian troops that went to the Russian side.
Oh, okay.
And so they're joining the Russians, saying, "Yeah, it looks like the end's coming, and we want to get
Those
out."
Hungarians, they flip flop like
Yeah,
pancakes.
well, wouldn't say that, but
Oh,
so over here I have a lot of concealments right here. So this is collapsing. He broke this German unit that was up front. Don't want to get them surrounded. That's the main goal, right? As you fall back, don't get surrounded. And it worked. I think I rescued him. He got back into here. And this yellow zone is a zone in which you have to control more buildings. The Russians win if there's less than one unbroken German squad equivalent at ground level within 3 hexes of AAA 40 AAA 5. That's this area, 3 hexes wide. So provided the Germans amass less than 32, and BVR, the Budapest volunteer regiments, the ones we were just talking about, don't count. So here's our little spot we wrote down to track the points. If he gets 33, it's a German win. You can see he has none.
Oh.
Eat that,
Oh,
Dave
dear.
Timonen.
oh dear.
Looks like a broken coax here, a broken gun. Now there's elevations here. So I set up back in this steeple, go up high because it gives you line of sight down the roads up on the hilltop that he might not expect you to be able to see. Just, and when you're in these buildings in the yellow zone defending, go up high, which I didn't do there. So I'm going to stop that share. Pull up another picture. We'll cut that.
So that
out.
steeple is a level 2?
Yeah, it's yellow. So they can be different depending on how tall the church is to start
Okay.
with.
Okay. Gotcha.
And now the picture's obsessing my screen. How do I
So that seems like a nice advantage if you can get up there.
Yes. And since I forgot, here's a picture of the end of that, what we've been playing lately game. And you can now see the Russians he tried to cross the road up in here, but I managed to pick him off because I went up high, even though it's not at the current moment here in this hex.
But you were up high in that.
Yeah, and got a shot down the road.
Which is a 2-level building, or was that a
That-
steeple there?
The steeple's back here in this one hex church.
I got you. Just the one. Okay.
The squares mean there's staircase in each hex, and you go up high, and I can shoot down the road.
Yeah.
Okay, so but then now apparently he's coming close and close. I got to get down. I don't want to get caught up there and encircled.
Right.
And then I'm holding this wall area. You can see he turned up the concealments over there on that flank. He looks like he might try to flank me around the right. And as he moved, this is fun, down along the right flank here, 6 minefield, that is in this building hex, which means it's outside in the grass along the 2 sides. And this is a building that has walls. What do they call them? Row house.
Yeah.
The black bars. So when you go in, you got to get hit. And then from there, where do you go? Nowhere. You can't cross to that. So normally you can run within the building and not get hit.
But this is row house, so you would have to step outside into the minefield in order to get anywhere.
Yeah. So I thought,
and I'm sorry, is that you in the minefield?
No, that's
you
Dave.
That's Dave in the building.
Yeah, he's trying to cut around the corner and cut me off in the back.
Okay.
See the broken guys?
Yeah.
He's trying to get around. And so
but that's obviously dangerous for him.
The other minefield is here.
In the rubble.
And actually it's the debris. You can put it in debris in a road.
Yeah.
And he didn't expect that. I did in a previous game. This game, he might have been expecting it. He went around it and didn't expect it hitting that building. So I thought that was super cool. And it looks like there's a German going berserk. This is when I think he gave up because he's not going to be able to get into this, break all these Germans in this zone. Also, you're getting reinforcements in these Budapest ones. a lot of them, you're buying off this reinforcement
Ah, okay.
chart.
Yes.
You're buying more guys to flood in. Now, he's already flooded in a lot of his, and I had a stack still coming, I think, in. And he's like, well, how am I going to get to that guy? So you can see this is concealments there, concealments here, but he didn't know that. So he's thinking, something, Paul?
No, just your wife fell down the stairs, but that's it.
In this squad. And then my gun is here, popped out. And
I'm sorry. Did you say your gun popped out?
this is a cannon.
I'm not going to touch that, so to speak.
I don't like the term gun for these things. Cannons, artillery, I forget what kind. And he didn't even find that yet. So when he was ready to give up, I'm like, well, there's this, so you got to break. You still got to get in here. So anyway, that game I thought was super cool.
So that was that one you finished?
Yep, that one's done.
Okay.
That was a victory for me. He's won quite a few of these. To us, it seems like I think the Germans are winning a lot of them. Maybe our attacks are not. We're not that good on the attack, or we're both very good on the defense. They're pretty well balanced because there are a lot of these are really close. In the meantime, I think that's a show.
That's a show. We love you all from the bottom of our pure beef hearts.
Well, as we said last show, he does, but I'm still mad at you.
Why?
I don't know.
Oh, okay. I'm missing something. Anyway,
So-
everybody,
No.
thanks for listening.
See, Jeff's short-term memory problem.
Yeah. I know nothing.
So thanks for listening, everybody. Bye-bye.
Remember to roll low,
Oh, and rally well.
but
But
not when you're playing
us.
us.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.